Reading with your kids.
Hola, ni hao, konnichiwa, assalamu alaikum, jumbo, bienvenidos. Hi, my name is Jedley, and this is the Reading with Your Kids podcast. We are so happy that you are part of our beautiful Reading with Your Kids family, celebrating the joy, the benefits, the bonding nature of reading with our kids. We have a wonderful, wonderful guest today. Her name is Donna Sager Cowan. She is the author of a beautiful book called With the Courage of a Mouse. Speaking of beautiful books, we are celebrating the announcement of another Reading with Your Kids certified great read. This time we're celebrating Jill D. Clark. Jill D. Clark, she is the author of If I Had a Giant Toe, a children's book about self-esteem. Our panel of experts, our panel of teachers, educators, parents, kids, call this book a truly beautiful and virtually perfect children's book. What a beautiful way to encourage kids to love and accept themselves for who they are. If I Had a Giant Toe by Jill D. Clark definitely gets complete 5 stars from our panel for giving out such a powerful message with a simple and engaging rhyming picture book for little ones. With beautiful illustrations and a beautiful message, it certainly deserves the title of Reading with Your Kids Certified Great Read. Congratulations to Jill D. Clark for If I Had a Giant Toe. Hey, while we're on the subject of great things, we want to tell you about a great, perfect holiday gift for the curious kids in your life. That's right. Little Passports is the perfect holiday gift for curious kids of all ages. Little Passports delivers fun-filled packages right to their door every single month with engaging hands-on activities, interactive projects, and unique souvenirs just waiting to be discovered. Little Passport's monthly subscriptions are designed to spark children's curiosity about geography, world culture, or science. From exploring sea creatures in Costa Rica to building a Big Ben like the one in England or making an ancient Greek headpiece, every month is a different adventure that will fuel their imagination and spark their natural curiosity of the world around them. It's the perfect gift for kids ages 3 to 13 this holiday season. Order today for holiday delivery at littlepassports.com/reading. That's right. Order today for holiday delivery at littlepassports.com/reading. Joining us right now from the central part of the beautiful state of California, she's the author of a really cute new series called the Superhero School series. The first edition in that series is called With the Courage of a Mouse. Please welcome to our show, Donna Sager Cowan. Donna, how are you?
I am great. I am so excited. This has been 2 years of my life finally coming true. I just can't wait to get this in the hands of everyone to read.
Well, we're really excited for you too. And as I understand it, it was 2 years of work and maybe kind of steady work. And then all of a sudden the last couple of weeks was just a mad rush to get everything out and ready. Am I right about that?
Well, you are. It has been 2 years of challenges and obstacles. The interesting story is my illustrator was in a coma that she came out of in May of this year. She couldn't do anything after she woke up. And here we are less than 6 months later, and she has done a fabulous job of illustrating all 36 chapters of this book.
Wow. Well, very thankful that she's recovered and recovered all of her skill. What an amazing story.
Absolutely. It has been an amazing story all along. It's like I lost my biggest cheerleader and my mother this past year. And then of course my illustrator becoming sick. And then, we've run into a few challenges here at the end trying to bring it all home together. But you know what? It doesn't matter anymore because I have the book in my hand. It's ready to go out on November the 13th. It should be available worldwide, and I just can't wait to hear what everybody has to say about this little story that I wrote.
It's interesting that the little story that you wrote, With the Courage of a Mouse, was written by a woman who had to had to find some pretty big courage to make this all happen over the past couple of years.
Yes, I have. And that is part of the story, is that, it isn't all of the big things that happen in our life. It's all of the little things. It's the little things that we tell ourselves or that we believe because we heard somebody say something that takes away our courage and makes that little comment into this huge mountain that we think we have to climb. And it really isn't that way. It's only how we see ourselves. It's not how everyone else sees us. It's not how our friends see us. It's not how the people who love us see us. And so sometimes, you have to trust yourself and take that leap of faith and have some courage.
That's so true. And isn't it, and I hear this, when I'm not doing the podcast, I am doing educational magic shows. So I'm out in the public, and and I hear this from other artists, other performing artists as well. I've sat down, I figured it out. I perform in front of like 80 to 90,000 kids every year. And, for the most part, it's 80 or 89,999 kids that are cheering at the end of the shows. And maybe once a year, there'll be one kid who doesn't like the show. And that's the kid you remember.
Right. Well, we always remember the negative so much easier than we do the positive. It's like, think of your mistakes. It's like, this is kind of what the book is about too, is we focus so often on the mistakes and the missed chances. But, those are often our biggest lessons. They give us the most possibilities in our life. And we are so focused sometimes on not having done the perfect thing the first time that we kind of miss everything that we learned by going through that, by doing it wrong.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Yeah, it kind of sounds cliche, this whole idea of, every failure is one more step towards success. And it's kind of hard. It's kind of hard for adults to buy into that sometimes. Never mind kids, but it really is true. It's oftentimes we need to go through those failures, those mistakes to figure out what it is that works.
Absolutely. Everyone needs inspiration and courage. They need that personal cheerleading squad behind them. But at the end of the day, you are by yourself and you have to find, the things that are within you. You have to trust that you are unique, that you are different, that you have something to offer the world. And it's like, I had a friend of mine a year ago speaking at a conference that gave me the greatest statement that I've ever heard. And he's like, what you find ordinary in your life, other people find extraordinary. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. That's thanks to Mike Kim. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And it's so true. It's like what we take for granted that, we think, oh, well, nobody would care about that. Nobody wants to know about that. And it's not true. They want that. They need that. They need to hear that somebody else has been there, has done that. Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. Well, we want to hear what Courage of a Mouse is all about.
Well, With the Courage of the Mouse is about two characters kind of colliding from opposite spectrums. We have started out with, Cat the cat, and she's an actual real cat, and she's kind of been dumped by her owners. They don't want her anymore, and she's trying to fend for herself, and she's being chased by these dogs, and she ends up through a secret portal into this wild world of Sweet Meadows. And when she gets there, she runs into Simon Cheddar, who is a mouse. Now, Simon grew up in Sweet Meadows, or specifically in Mouseville, which is kind of like a little secluded village for mice. And he has he has such a big life. He collects things, he invents things, he recycles, he has all of the ability to go out and do anything and everything that his heart's desire. He plans, the world is not big enough for him. And he runs into Kat, who doesn't believe in herself. And the two of them are meeting at a moment when things are not going well for either one of them. but they want to go to superhero school. And so they decide that their best course is to team up and go together and to help each other out. And the story is mostly about friendship. It's about discovering those things about yourself that makes you a good friend, discovering those things about yourself that you need help with, that you can depend on your friends, and about, trusting that your friends are going to be there for you.
Beautiful, beautiful message for kids. It sounds like a really fun situation, and I love how the characters meet and they kind of help and fill in the holes that the others have. Where did the inspiration for writing this book at this time in your life come from?
Well, that in itself is another interesting story. It began with my youngest granddaughter when she was about 6.5 years old, asking me where my one cat went every night when she disappeared for hours at a time. And then she came back, and just exhausted. Mm-hmm. And for a long time, I really couldn't give her an answer. And then one day, as I usually do, I make up stories for them at bedtime. I began this story about her being an actual superhero, that she was in fact, the real Catwoman, and that she was out saving all of the animals in the kingdom. And so we went on into the story, and the grandkids began asking me all these questions about it, and we decided that was a secret identity, and we really couldn't tell that story. So we went back, and now we're telling the story of how Cat becomes Catwoman.
Interesting. Really, really cool. And superhero schools where all our favorite superheroes went to learn how to use their powers?
Absolutely. Well, and that's kind of the big secret of the series is you really don't need to go to superhero school. We all have everything we need inside of us to be a superhero. Mm-hmm.
I love that message to kids. We have everything inside of us we already need to be a superhero. Donna's going to share some more wisdom with us in just a moment, but I want to share with you what I think is a perfect holiday gift for curious kids of all ages. That's right, Little Passports. Little Passports is the perfect holiday gift for curious kids of all ages. Little Passports delivers fun-filled packages right to their door every month with engaging, hands-on activities, interactive projects, and unique souvenirs just waiting to be discovered. Little Passports monthly subscriptions are designed to spark kids' curiosity about geography, world culture, or science. From exploring sea creatures in Costa Rica to building a Big Ben like the one in England or making an ancient Greek headpiece, every month is a different adventure that will fuel their imagination and spark their natural curiosity of the world around them. It's the perfect gift for kids ages 3 to 13 this holiday season. Order today for a holiday delivery. That's right, you need to order today for holiday delivery at littlepassports.com/reading. littlepassports.com/reading. One of the things that I often ask authors is, what kind of conversations can families have while reading the author's book? But I think you just said it right there, that you don't need to go to superhero school to be a superhero. You don't need to get these incredible powers. That each and every one of us is pretty super on our own.
Absolutely. We all have the exact same ability to do wonderful things.
That, you just right there. One of the things I do all the time when I'm performing is, kids will see me make something disappear or make one of their friends levitate on over the stage, and they'll come up and they go, "Where did you get that power? Where did you?" And I always give them the same answer. I tell them I don't have any superpowers. I have the same power that you have. I have the power to read, the power to learn, the power to use my imagination and take what I read and to turn it into my own. And I have to be honest, there are a lot of kids who don't want to hear that answer. They want to believe the magic. They want to believe that I'm different from them and that I have these powers that they can't attain. Now I don't get surprised when I get that response,
Mm-hmm.
but I love it when that response triggers the opposite reaction in some kids. When I'm saying I don't have any special powers that you don't have, and you have the same powers I have, the power to read and learn and to develop, and those other kids, their eyes light up because now it's like, whoa, what you do is really cool, and you mean to tell me I can do it too?
Absolutely. I do speak at a few schools, and they often ask me, they're like, well, how do you become an author? And I'm like, well, if you sat down and wrote a grocery list, I hate to tell you this, but you're an author.
Uh-huh.
You're an author of that grocery list. And it really is the greatest job in the world, because think about it. I get to dream for a living. I get to tell things that aren't true for a living. I get to make things up. I get to make up people, places, situations. And so seriously, it's dreaming for a living. I can't imagine a better job.
Oh, that's interesting. I love that idea. You get to dream for a living. And this just occurred to me. I know there are a lot of, parents and other authors listen to the show. And so for the other authors, I'm sure many of them are smiling right now, just thinking, yeah, we do. We have this really cool job. We get paid to dream. And that really is cool. But I imagine too, you're talking about you have the power to tell these stories and to create these stories and to have power, and where a lot of times authors will tell me, well, I don't know where the story's going to go when I start, and the story kind of takes a life on of its own, and that's true. But I imagine, I don't know, you can tell me if you agree, but I imagine if there are some kids out there who feel so powerless, they just feel as if their life is just running amok. Do you think it might be, and I'm just throwing this out there, do you think it might be empowering, an empowering exercise for them to kind of sit down, maybe with their parents, and to write a story and to start, kind of decide where things are going to go?
Absolutely. And I'm speaking from absolute experience. I sound large and in charge and very sure of myself, but growing up, I was the most reserved and shy and don't speak up kid in the world. I just didn't feel like I had a place. I was the youngest child in a very large family, so I was often overlooked, and so I figured that my place was in the corner, to not be really seen or heard. And so I did revert to books. It was kind of like my escape from the world to kind of experience life that I didn't see happening around me. And it gave me such a good perspective of problems, because I could see how other people, handled their problems and how they started out one way and they became different. And I absolutely think that whether you end up with a story that you're going to publish or not, putting your thoughts and feelings into words, whether it's just for yourself or for anyone else, is so powerful. It is like releasing the poison from your body, the anger, the frustration, the intense I don't matter feelings that get so trapped and bottled inside of us that we don't know what to do next. We don't know how to fix the problem. And it's like, often we do, but it's just so jumbled in everything else that if we write it down, we can see what we're really feeling. We can see, even in writing fiction, in writing this story, I learned so much about myself. It's like, it was crazy. Simon Cheddar, who was one of the main characters in the book, really did not start out that way. He started out as just a member of the superhero school, but he would come and visit me in dreams. Now, I know that's part of my own subconscious, but, to me, he's really real. And he would visit me in dreams and talk to me about how he as a mouse, was probably the most qualified to teach anybody about courage. It's like, think about the life of a mouse. It's like their entire world is running around and hiding and trying to find food and trying to survive. And it's like he makes a great quote in the book. It's like, mice wear fear like an old shirt because it's warm and comfortable. They don't try to get beyond what is. They don't try to see a future where things are different. And I think the first step for me anyway in changing from that shy, knowing not what to do person was starting to write. And it didn't matter that nobody ever read it again, but it made me feel important. It made me see me. And I think that's the important thing that kids really need to do is they need to see themselves. They need to see what they feel about themselves.
I think that's very insightful, and I think it is. I agree with you. It is really important for kids to see themselves, and also at the same time understand that they are okay just being themselves. That being who they are is okay, and it's perfect.
Absolutely. Well, and a lot of times what I find when you sit down with kids and talk to them about what they see and feel about themselves, it's so distorted by everyone else's opinion. They don't actually see who they are because they're looking through the lens of maybe a bully or maybe someone that's not really a friend or, a contemporary that may be a little jealous of them. And again, we do tend to focus more on the negative things in our life than we do the positive. And so it's often when you sit down and actually have these heart-to-heart conversations with your kids, it's like I'm always astounded by how harshly they judge themselves, by how harshly they feel their shortcomings are. And I just don't see it. I think they're all beautiful in their own way. But I'm not an 8-year-old little girl or a 10-year-old boy. It's like I'm an adult. I can remember what it was like, but I'm not going through it right now.
Right.
So,
and now, I look at kids today, and on the one hand, it's like, whoa, they have so much. And, I was one of the kids, I just realized this the other day, I'm making a podcast now, and this is really cool. But I was making the 1960s version of a podcast back when I was in middle school. Me and my friends would make these little radio shows for each other. We called it tape radio because we'd tape ourselves talking into a cassette recorder, and we'd share them with each other. And, and that was an early podcast, but, it is really important for kids to, just kind of, while they're living in this age with all this technology is also opening up the door to a lot of other, folks who just want to be negative and mean. So, they don't, whereas you and I may have had to deal with one or two bullies or people who were mean at school. Now suddenly it's just, those one or two bullies, and then, 20 people that might have bumped into on social media.
Right. It was when we were going to school, it was kind of easy to avoid and stay away from the bullies, but now you can't. It's like, it's not just the bully, it's his 25 friends, and then it's all the other people that wouldn't necessarily in person get involved, but, they feel the anonymity of, being online, and it just kind of self-perpetuates. And it's really hard. And, they live in a 24/7 life. It's like there is never an off button. There is never a time where they can get away from it. And it's, I think the kids suffer as well as the adults from decision fatigue, where it's just so much easier to just kind of go with the flow instead of having to make choices. Mm-hmm. And, but, you know, in the end, it's, you know, it's all about, you know, giving yourself permission. You know, do you really need to impress that person? Is it really that important that, you know, everyone thinks you're the best or whatever? It's like, not in the long run. Mm-hmm. Long run, it's always more important to impress yourself.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, one of the things I was impressed with is your website, and I know folks are going to want to visit your website to find out more about With the Courage of a Mouse and the superhero school series. So tell us where they can find that website, please.
Well, I try to make it as easy as possible. It is the DonnaSagerCowan.com, and you can catch me there. I do have a Facebook group if they want to come and join me, and we talk about all things writing, all things book related, and you know, put some promo codes up there for some discount books and some promo items for them. I also give a list of the events that I will be attending. So, we try to keep it all there and available for them on the website at DonnaSagerCowan.com.
Excellent, excellent. Well, the name of the book is With the Courage of a Mouse. It is book 1 of the Superhero School series. Our guest tonight has been Donna Sager Cowan. Donna, thank you so much for joining us tonight.
Well, thank you, Jed. I am so appreciative of you including me in your Reading with Kids, and I hope I can get the kids reading with me.
You do not want to miss the next edition of the Reading with Your Kids podcast. Our guest will be Brad Berger. Brad has written a wonderful book called Unplug and Play. Some great suggestions of how we can get our kids and us to turn off the screens, tune out of the machines, and tune into each other. It's a really, really great concept, something we can all use a whole lot. Don't miss it. Next episode, Brad Berger will be here. Hey, you know, the holidays, they're going to be here before you know it, too. The start of Hanukkah is right around the corner. Christmas is right around the corner. Kwanzaa is right around the corner. And you are looking for the perfect holiday gift for the kids in your life that you love. Well, Little Passports is a perfect holiday gift for that curious kid on your list. With a subscription to Little Passports, kids get a fun-filled package each month designed to inspire their curiosity in geography, world cultures, or science. For kids of all ages, order today for holiday delivery at littlepassports.com/reading. littlepassports.com/reading. Hey, we want to thank Donna Sager Cowan for being here today. And of course, we want to thank Little Passports for sponsoring us. And of course, we want to thank you. Thank you so much for taking the time to join us today. And as always, thank you so much for taking the time to make the world a better place by bringing your family closer together every time you read with your kids. I'll be looking for you in the next edition of the Reading with Your Kids podcast.